Good morning, everyone. Welcome into North Dakota Today. A new study has found that Gen Z is looking to social media for information about their fertility. Joining us this morning is Dr. Lisa Becht to debunk some of that fertility information that some Gen Zers might be seeing on screen. Good morning, Dr. Lisa Becht.
Hi, good morning. Thanks so much for having me on the show today.
Yeah, I'm very interested in a lot of this information this morning. I was asking you right before we came to air. So Gen Z, we're specifically talking about 18 to 26-year-olds for this survey specifically. But as a whole, this is the group who was born between the late 1990s to the early 2010s, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
So our study was looking at them, but also millennials, so going up to the age of 42.
Wow. Okay. I'm interested in learning about everything we have to hear this morning. So specifically in your survey, how did you find that Gen Z was using social media to learn specifically about reproductive health?
Absolutely. So we kind of sent out a survey to about 1,200 people asking for people between the ages of 42 kind of information that they know about fertility and where exactly they're getting that information. And surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly at this point in time, almost half of them are getting most of their information about fertility from social media, with about kind of the next 36% of them getting it from TV, radio, kind of other forms of media. So definitely, I feel like that big kind of surge in social media it's important to know, just because, as we all know, social media is accessible to everyone, which is great. However, some things that you might see on social media definitely might not be true or might not be totally true.
Right. And are you seeing specific information that is flat out incorrect on social media specifically for this group of people?
Absolutely. So things that are just flat out wrong, we'll have patients come in asking things, for example, does birth control cause infertility, which the answer is no. Obviously, birth control is something a lot of people are interested in or are on. So, big things that could be helpful for other reasons. Patients are getting this misinformation from social media and potentially impacting their own health or fertility. Lots of different myths on how to get pregnant, different supplements, or even hormones that really should be something that someone talks with a doctor before starting to, be using that and trying to get pregnant, or especially if they already are early pregnant, to prevent miscarriages and things like that.
So would you say, as you mentioned earlier, we kind of looked at millennials as well. Are millennials as easily targeted, or are they getting impacted by this false information online as well?
Similarly, but definitely Gen Z is looking more to social media for this type of information. And so that's where I think we're just really, from a doctor perspective, I now have a social media account. Definitely a lot of us professionals that have done a lot of training to be able to give the correct information on fertility are just trying to get the correct information out there on the social media channels.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned that you're on social media with public accounts as a doctor yourself. What would you say to folks maybe following doctors currently on social media? Is that something that you think people should be able to trust?
Absolutely. Definitely, I think it's kind of looking at that account. Is it the doctor themselves? Is it part of a large group? Well-respected, board certified physicians, or big private practices or academic practices such as HRC or University of Southern California, which are all parts that I'm affiliated with. Definitely, you can trust information from doctors and private practices and academics. However, if you're looking at sometimes groups that maybe are not specifically run by the doctor themselves, or other kind of just patients, which definitely can be very helpful, but patients trying to give information that maybe was helpful to themselves, but maybe isn't as applicable to everyone else. I think just really seeing where is that information coming from, who is the source of that. True information typically will have some sort of kind of background that you could get more information from, like a journal article or a well-respected book or publication. So just kind of random statements that you might be seeing on social media that don't have specific scientific backing is something to look a little bit more into.
Yeah, so a lot of thorough research on an individual's part before hitting that follow button. Is that your main suggestion when helping people filter out this information or misinformation?
Absolutely. Again, I love that social media is getting fertility information and attention out there, but just making sure that the information you are getting is accurate, Definitely if someone truly has infertility and is seeking medical care, really a lot of those questions, you can get information from social media, but I really ask you to, make a list. As a doctor, I love when patients come in with a list of questions or reach out with their questions. So getting that directly from your own doctor is always really helpful, since that's more personalized to you anyway.
Okay, and before we let you go really quickly, where can people go to learn more?
Absolutely. So we are going to be putting out press releases with more information on this study specifically. You can also follow HRC Fertility and myself, Lisa Becht, MD, on Instagram. We're going to be linking information through that, and also through our website, which is havingbabies.com. But definitely, it was great chatting with everyone today, and I hope that helps some people out there that are looking for fertility information.
Oh, absolutely. We appreciate all of that information this morning. Dr. Becht, thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much. Have a great morning.
You as well. All right, coming up on today's show, we're getting an update about what's going on at Farm in the Dell right here after the break.